This session is about drop-down list in Excel. We will be discussing about how to create a drop-down list in Excel, then dependent drop-down list, then dynamic drop-down list, then two objects in Excel which will function like drop-down list, and a macro for creating drop-down list. Before explaining how to create a drop-down list, I will show you some examples and various uses of the same. What you see here in this sheet are the details of more than 100 employees of a particular company. Here, this cell H2 with an arrow at the edge pointing downwards denotes a drop-down list. When I click on the cell, I will get a list of available options. Here the list is for employee codes, and when I select an employee code, the details of the employee with that particular employee code are displayed. Now to the second sheet. Here we have a list of movies in column B, and here in column C we can rate those movies. When I click on this drop down list, I have the list of available options and they are ratings from 1 to 5. When I make a selection, two changes are happening. First one is color of the cell changed. It's a graphical representation for the rating of the movie. And second one, in the column for remarks, we will have a remark on the movie according to the rating. Actually, drop-down list is a method of data validation. By creating a drop-down list, we are restricting the cell with some options. If the user tries to enter some other values other than the available options, it will return an error. Now an example for dependent drop-down list. Here you can see a sample list of candidates in column B, and adjacent columns are meant to fill out their particulars. In the column C, we have a drop-down list for age ranging from 17 to 30. Next column is for specifying the gender. We have three options here: male, female, and others. Another column for degree. Again, three options: engineering, science, and arts. Next column is for branch, and the options in the cells of this column F is related to the values in cells of column E. If I select science in column E, the options in F will be physics, mathematics, and chemistry. When the selection is engineering, the options will be civil, mechanical, and computer. This kind of a drop-down list is called dependent drop-down list. Dynamic drop-down list will also be explained along with this topic later in this video. Now about two objects in Excel which can function like drop-down list. Those drop-down lists which you saw in the previous sheets were all assigned to some specific cells. Here these lists, otherwise objects, can be moved or placed anywhere in this sheet. Now a macro which can create a drop-down list. Click on macro. Here we have a macro called create drop-down list. Execute it. And now we have an input box saying select the values for drop-down list. I will select these cells and we have a drop-down list here. I think this is the easiest way ever to create a drop-down list from a dataset. That was all examples for various uses and types of drop-down list in Excel. Now we will see how to create a drop-down list in Excel. For creating a drop-down list for employee codes in this cell I2, go to Data tab in Excel ribbon. Click on Data Validation. In the tab for Settings, Validation Criteria, under the heading Allow, select List from the available options. Here we can specify the source. We need employee codes to be displayed in the drop-down list. So cells containing employee codes is our source. I will select this range of cells from A2 to A130. Make sure that the checkbox in cell drop-down is marked. And when we select the cell I2, we have a drop-down list which contains the list of employee codes. Now I will link this cell to adjacent cells using VLOOKUP function so that we can extract details of employees according to selection made using drop-down list. We can also use named ranges for making drop-down list. I will create a named range here. We'll name the cells from B2 to B130 as employee name. Again, data validation, select list. In the source, we can use named range instead of cell references. Equal employee name. And now at cell I10, we have this drop down list for employee names. Now to the second sheet, that is for movie ratings. Here in the cells of column C, I want to display the options from 1 to 5 for rating a movie. For that, go to data validation, select list. Now we have to specify the source. Instead of using a range of cells or a named range, I will directly enter the values here. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Click OK. Back to the cell and we have a drop down list. I will drag this to downward cells. Now every cell is having a drop down list with option ranging from 1 to 5. For displaying remarks based on the rating, I will create a table here, 1 to 5 in column F, then the corresponding remarks in column G, using VLOOKUP, I will link these remarks here. Now for the graphical representation of rating, I will use conditional formatting. Select the cells from C2 to C11. Click on conditional formatting. Go to data bars. Here you can choose the style you want. There is a separate option available for rating. For that, click on icon sets and select the style. Now to the third sheet, which explains dependent drop-down list. Here in this column C, I want a drop-down list for age ranging from 17 to 30, then 3 options in the column for gender, then 3 options in the column for degree, and then for branch. We will start with the column C, that is for age. I will create a list here. I will convert this range of cells into a named range called age. Using this named range, I will create a drop-down list. Then the next column for gender will provide 3 options here: male, female, and others. Now the third and fourth columns. Options in fourth column is related to the selection in third column. I will create the list of degrees and branches here. For the drop-down list showing degrees in column E, I will refer to the cells from K2 to M2. You may have noted that the source for drop-down list need not be a range of cells in vertical direction. It can be horizontal too. Now the drop-down list for cells in column F. The idea is when I select a particular degree in a cell of column E, the options in the adjacent cell in column F should be the branches listed under that particular degree. For example, if I select science, the options should be physics, mathematics, and chemistry. And for arts, it should be Malayalam, English, and Hindi. A drop-down list which is dependent on the value in another cell is called dependent drop-down list. For creating a dependent drop-down list, we have to convert this dataset into named ranges. Now we have 3 named ranges here: arts, engineering, and science. Now select cell F2, go to data validation, then list. Now in the source we will use this function called indirect, and within the function cell E2. And now if you see the drop down list in cell F2, we have the options for Malayalam, English, and Hindi. I will change the value in cell E2 and will make it engineering. Now the list of available options are different. So this is how we create a dependent drop-down list. Now about dynamic drop-down list. There are many ways to create a dynamic drop-down list. Easiest method is with the use of tables in Excel. I will convert this data into a table. Either you can use Ctrl T or go to Insert tab and click on Table. And now we have a table here. Right now we have 3 options available in cells of column F. Now I will add some new data to this table, that is a new branch for each degree. And you can see the table expanded automatically. And along with that, the drop-down list also got updated. And you can see the new options here. Now about combo boxes in Excel, which functions like drop-down list. Go to Developer tab, click on Insert. Here you can find form and ActiveX controls. Click on combo box under form controls. Right click and select format control. The input range in format control is similar to source in drop-down list. I will specify the input range and now the cell link. Let it be cell G15. The selection made in this combo box will be reflected in the cell specified here. You can see here the value in cell G15 changes according to the selection made in the combo box. But instead of the selection, the order of that particular item in that list is displayed in this cell. To return the same value as the selection, you can use index formula. There is one more combo box available, which is an ActiveX object. Go to Developer tab, click on Insert, click on Combo under ActiveX controls. Structure of ActiveX control is different from form control. Click on Properties. Here we have the options for linking the cell and specifying the source. Let I17 be the linked cell. That is, selection made in the combo box will be reflected in the cell I17. I7 to I10 will be the source. With ActiveX combo box, we don't need to use any function for retaining the selection. Both these combo boxes will function like a drop-down list, and the advantage is they can be moved or placed anywhere in our worksheet. Now about a macro for drop-down list. Click on Record Macro in Developer tab. Click OK to start recording. From this moment, whatever we do in this sheet will be recorded as code into a module. I will create a drop-down list at cell L8. The source will be the values in cells from G8 to G11. Stop recording the macro. Here you can see L8 has a drop-down list. Now select another cell, click on macros, execute the recorded macro, and we have a drop-down list here. That means we don't need to go for data validation. Here the only problem is every time when we execute the macro, it will create the same drop-down list. Now I will customize this macro so that we will get an input box for specifying the source of drop-down list. Go to VBA editor. This is the code for recorded macro. I will declare a variable ExcelCAD as range. Now an input box which will prompt the user to specify the source. We'll change the name of the macro. Select a random cell and execute the macro. And here we have an input box which says select the values for drop-down list. I will select the cells from H8 to H11. and we have a drop down list here. Once again execute the macro, and I will select a different source here, and we have a new drop down list. For feedback and discussion, please make use of the comment section. And if you are visiting this channel for the first time, subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so that you won't miss any video releases. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.